Welcome, Internet Nomad. Today I share my own game tale on Gone Home. Waiting patiently for an indie game called The Quiet Things, I found a thread on X about games that inspired it. One of them was Gone Home. I actually played all three of the games she said inspired it. I recently played What Remains of Edith Finch, which will get its own game tale soon. Life is Strange was the third, which I want to make a new video on my 1 year anniversary. I heard great things about this game since following the narrative game Spear. I decided to play many narrative games since falling into the wormhole which was started with Life is Strange. Gone Home is really my ideal game. The game is set in June 7th, 1995. The main character is searching an empty house, trying to piece together what happened since she was gone. The protagonist took a year abroad and has recently arrived home. So much has happened during her time away. Her sister Sam has left behind notes in her journal to tell her sister everything that has happened while she was gone. It was fun piecing together the story from Sam's journal entries and trying to figure out why no one is there. I won't go into detail about those reasons yet. This is a true exploration game. There's zero puzzles, which I found quite relaxing. Many narrative games add puzzles, which are a treat sometimes. I find it refreshing that the game didn't have any. I don't know where I stand on the subject. While I do enjoy a good puzzle, sometimes I feel they break the pace of a good narrative game. There's two safes that their combos could be found by just exploring the house. Exploring the house is great because there's many hidden compartments that are revealed through exploring diary entries. The objects and notes you pick up sometimes feel empty. Your character may say a line, but sometimes she doesn't, which is fine since it's an indie game, but more flavor text would be welcomed. Some objects provide great detail into the larger story by adding a journal entry into your inventory. My favorite part is piecing together the story by reading the entries in order. Since the entries are tied to objects, chances are the story will be told out of order. They fix this by putting them in order on the pause menu, allowing the players to hear them in order. Okay, time to talk about spoilers. The game tells a story about a budding romance between your sister Sam and this girl she meets named Lonnie. As the story progresses, it's revealed Lonnie is a JRTOC cadet. She plans to join the army but stops in Salem. She calls Sam and confesses her love for Sam. Sam rushes to find her. That is why Sam isn't at the house. Their parents have a rocky affair going on. Janice has romantic feelings for a subordinate of hers, while Terry has his own problem of being a failed writer and sexually abused in his past. They tell everyone they're going camping, but when in reality, they're going to a counseling retreat. I was dreading the worst on my first playthrough. Besides the horrific state of the parents in the game, I was afraid that something bad happened to Sam. Many of these narrative games always have these serious plot twists. I was threatening going into the attic because of this. I am glad that they went with the ending of Sam going to find Lonnie. I also like that the city she stopped in was Salem. With the history of Salem and witches, made it a cool place for Lonnie to stop in. There's a story about Sam and Lonnie searching the house for ghosts. The previous owner, Oscar Mason, is believed to haunt the house. He's also the uncle that abused Terry the father. The story of abuse isn't in the game itself. It might be in the commentary tracks, but I haven't played that game through twice yet. To find the heights of measurements of Terry in the basement, which is weird, and they stop in 1963. This is why 1963 is a recurring number. This is predicted to either be when the abuse occurred or ended. This makes Terry obsessed with the Kennedy assassination. He has written a story about a character going back in time to stop it. This might be why Terry is obsessed with changing the past, and that year in particular. Sam and Lonnie's relationship is not approved by the family. Their parents couldn't believe their daughter was a lesbian. They had a careful eye on them the entire time Lonnie would visit. My thoughts on the game are profoundly positive. I read online that this game was going to be completely different. The game was pitched as a futuristic setting with robots completing tasks. With the limited budget of the game, it was settled to be taking place in an empty 1990s house. I think they made a game like their original plan later, which I might check out soon. I wonder how the plot would be different if the original setting was agreed on. I love hearing about stories in the game's development. I'm going to replay the game with the commentary enabled. I don't know, I just get a kick from listening to developers being passionate about their game. The game also has a speedrun achievement where if you beat the game in less than 1 minute, you get the achievement. I haven't tried yet, but that sounds fun to do. There's also an achievement to figure out the code to the safe in the basement without getting it through gameplay. Basically, if you recognize the importance of 1963, you guess the code before the game gives it to you. Those are my thoughts on Gone Home. I love that I'm late to the party. With most of these games, playing through narrative games has been a great treat for me. See you later.